What's up, suckers? I'm going to make a different kind of video today because I have a message, and the message is you don't need to be fat. It's been solved. You just haven't been told about it. And no, I'm not talking about $1,000 a month Ozempic or Wegovy. No, it was solved before that. 7 years before that. We've known now about semaglutide, a simple peptide, not so simple, but a simple string of amino acids that strung together form a peptide. When you inject it, you get skinny. And you can buy it right now on the internet with no doctor involved because it's a chemical. You buy it from chemical supply stores. Yeah. You want to be skinny? Everybody should get skinny once in their life. And you can stay skinny as long as you want to do it. It costs almost nothing. You got to keep taking it if you want to stay skinny. But it's so cheap you can. It has very few side effects. The only horrible side effects have been seen by injecting tons of it into rats, and only then in rats. And that's thyroid issues. Look it up for yourself. But what it does is they don't even know really exactly the mechanism, but they do know this, and so do I. It stops you from eating so much. You don't care about food as much. And in fact, you don't care about other addictive things as much. They've discovered that this semaglutide actually makes addictive behaviors in people decline. And what's the number one addictive behavior in people? Stuffing our face with food. Eating till we are packed. So what happens when you start taking it is you just don't want to eat that much anymore. You're okay eating less. And that has an immediate effect. And by immediate, the first week, you're going to notice something's changed. Not just on the scale. You're going to notice something's changed in the way you live. So how do you get this? How do you get this chemical fury swipes? Well, there's 2 levels. There's really 3 levels to get semaglutide. Number 1, you pay ridiculous amounts of money for a patented version of it. What do you mean patented version? Is it better? You know what they did to patent it? They added a chemical to it that shortens its shelf life. That's what they did. Then they patented that. Because you can already get it just by buying it from an online store. Semaglutide. That method of semaglutide costs $1,000 to $1,500 a month. Which is why when you see the movie stars losing weight, and when you see maybe upscale people losing weight, they only do it for a couple of years because they get tired of spending that kind of money on it. Now, really rich people probably don't. But I do notice that Elon got off it. He was on it. He lost a ton of weight quick. So why did he get off it? I have a theory about why they get off it. It's so they can pack their face again. It's so they can eat again and, have fun and just go to the all-you-can-eat table. I don't know. I don't know why, but what I do know is it works. And I'm living proof. My wife's living proof. In a very short amount of time, we both lost 30 pounds. And I'm an expert at losing 30 pounds because I have lost over 20 pounds 6 times in my life. I've lost over 30 pounds 4 times in my life. I know how to lose weight. Several times I lost weight, I did it involving exercise. But never once did I do it without changing what I put into my face. Every single time I lost a large amount of weight, it involved dietary changes. Because that's it. That's the truth that nobody tells you when you start out. You can always out-eat your exercise. And it's very easy to do it. You can always out-eat your exercise. And I've said it for years. Until you commit to changing what you put in your mouth, you ain't going to lose weight. Now, what if I told you that this chemical you can take once a week does all the work for you? You don't have to think about it. You don't have to feel like you're starving. You don't have to exercise. I didn't exercise. Neither did Monique. We did nothing. In fact, I was exercising. Before I started cutting again. Cutting meaning losing weight. It's a weightlifting term you guys wouldn't understand. Anyway, I was exercising and I stopped when I started taking semaglutide. It was part of the experiment. It's like, okay, well, this semaglutide supposedly works. Let's see if it works if I don't do nothing. And so, I didn't exercise. Neither did Monique. And there we were, every week, just one shot of semaglutide. Oh yeah, you better not be afraid of needles. One shot of semaglutide every week, Mondays. And the miracle happened. For once in my life, I didn't have to try to lose weight. For once in my life, I lost it all without any work. No work. And no feelings of being denied. I had no feeling that I was, missing out on anything. It was just amazing. So, how do you do it? Furious Wipes. Okay, so I was talking about the levels. There are 3 levels. Number 1, you can pay through the nose and get the official stuff, which is bullshit. Don't do that. Also, I'm not a doctor. Go research it for yourself. All the advice I'm giving you is renegade, non-doctorial advice, and if you die, it's your own fault. So number 2 is you buy it from an American supplier, an American website. Go to Google right now while I'm talking. Google semaglutide peptide shop or buy semaglutide peptide. You're going to see a bunch of bullshit links, but once in a while, you're going to see these online chemical shops that sell you peptides. Go to those. Look at those. Go investigate them. Ask at the Reddit subreddit peptides. That is reddit.com/r/peptides. If you're unsure, ask about it there. Okay? And learn more about it before you decide. Learn more about it before you do anything. So you go to the American website. They're more trustworthy, right? They're more trustworthy, maybe. I don't know. More expensive than the third option. But they're a good place to start. So you can get 10 weeks worth of semaglutide, which is what? $3,000 of Ozempic. $3,000. You can get 10 weeks of semaglutide for $170. Okay? $170, 10 weeks. Got to take it once a week, and boom, you immediately start losing weight. You immediately start eating less. You immediately start saving money on your food bills. And then there's the third level of semaglutide, which is buy it directly from Chinese suppliers. Ooh, China. You're going to inject stuff from China into your body, Furious Wipes? Yes, I did. And I do. And yes, I will Obviously, once you involve China, there is testing that needs to go on. There is reputation that needs to be trusted. You are getting stuff, maybe even a little shady, smuggled in. Suddenly the vials don't have labels on them, but it's a fifth to a tenth of the price of the American stuff. So you'll get 10 weeks of semaglutide from a Chinese supplier for, let me do the math, $60? Less than that. 10 weeks for $60, maybe. Something around there. No, I'm not even close. It's much less than that. Okay, bad math. But anyway, you'll get your 10-week supply for a ridiculously low amount of money, something less than $50, maybe much less. But the point is it works, and if you know who to go to and how to communicate with them, which I'm going to tell you, maybe not in the video, but maybe like in the comments or whatever. If you know who to go to and how to communicate with them, you get basically semaglutide for free. Now, I haven't mentioned other peptides. Semaglutide is the weakest one, all right? These peptides fall in the category of GLP-1 blockers. So these peptides all work on these GLP-1 receptors in your body, and I do not claim to understand it, and I don't even want to understand it, because they don't even understand it completely. It's more than just not eating, okay? I guarantee you, it is more than just not eating. Because I've just not eaten before, and I never lost weight this fast. And I certainly never lost weight by, just not eating and not exercising this fast. So there's more to it than that. There's something magical about it. So the third way is buy from China. Okay? You find a place that you trust, you get them on WhatsApp. It's all done through WhatsApp, and you have them send you the stuff. It takes a lot longer. 20, 25 days to get to you. So plan in advance. You can use the American stuff while you're learning, waiting, learning the ropes. And then you can switch to the Chinese stuff. So when you feel like you're brave enough. So how does it work, Furious Webs? How do you take it? I really want to talk about the whole process in this video so that when you leave this video, you feel like you're equipped to be able to try this yourself. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, the gory details, like, the syringes, mixing the powders. When you get your semaglutide from your supplier, it's going to be in powdered form. It's not pre-mixed. You will then be responsible for mixing this, what we call bacteriostatic water, into it. It's just water you buy on Amazon. It's not complicated. I'll put a link. And you put that bacteriostatic water with a hypo into the vial, and you roll it around. Don't shake it. They say don't shake it. Maybe it breaks up the peptides, but you roll it around until it mixes up. And then you're ready to go. You put it in the refrigerator, you store it in the refrigerator, it'll store for 8 to 10 weeks, somewhere thereabouts. So don't make too much. You don't want it breaking down over time. And apparently Ozempic breaks down faster. So how much water do you put in? It's really simple. Don't make it too complicated. How much water do you want to inject into yourself? Okay, on shot day. I like to inject about 20 units. All right, you look at these little hypodermic needles, and they're marked in units. Okay, the normal hypo you buy from Amazon by the box is like a 50-unit hypo with a 3/8-inch needle. They're really tiny needles. You hardly even feel them. That's not a joke. That's not hyperbole. You really do hardly feel them. They're really small, they're really fine. And I like to inject about 20 units into me. I have a vial. It has 5 units, 5 milligrams in it. What's my dosage? My dosage is 1 milligram a week. Okay? 1 milligram a week. So if I have a vial that has 5 milligrams of powder in it, how much water do I put in it? Well, I put in 20 units of water for every milligram. It's as simple as that. I want my injections to be 20 units. So I put in 5 times 20 units or 100 units. It's as simple as that. Don't make it complicated. All right. If you want your injections to be 10 units, then you put 10 units of water in there for every milligram of powder that is in there. Simple as that. Roll it around, and then on shot day, whatever day you want to make it, I don't know. I just pick Monday. I don't know what day is the right day to do it. I don't feel any hungrier on Sunday before injection day. It doesn't seem to change. It seems to be flat all the way across the week. So there we are on injection day. Now what do? We do the normal shot thing. They like to suggest that you do your shot in the fatty part of your arm. Maybe if you're have a bit more arm fat than me. Yeah. Yeah, maybe if you have a bit more arm fat than me. But what I do is I do the other thing, which is kind of bunch it up on your tummy. You kind of squeeze and you don't have to take my word for this. Just go to the Ozempic site or just Google, how do I give myself semaglutide? You'll see a bunch of instructional, just go to YouTube. Instructional videos all over the place. How to take semaglutide, how to take Ozempic, whatever. But I normally just do the little fat that I have left on my tummy. It's mostly skin, extra skin. I just shoot it right there, or my wife is like, okay, you can do my arm this week or my tummy, whatever. I don't know why, but they don't say put it in your gluteus maximus, your buttock. They don't say put it anywhere else, so I just obey what they say and trust the system, and the system works. The system works. So there you are. What did I miss? Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you about the other peptides. So semaglutide is the bottom level peptide. Tirzepatide, semaglutide so far has not been blocked by the evil pharmaceutical companies. Tirzepatide has. Eli Lilly blocked tirzepatide last month, and so it's very hard to get it now from an American supplier. If you want tirzepatide, which is about 3 times as expensive as semaglutide and about 2 to 3 times as effective, I don't find I need it, but I have given it to my wife. My wife has taken tirzepatide and semaglutide together through part of her walk from June. We started this in June. It's now the beginning of December. I've been done for a while. I'm at my target weight. I probably finished at my target weight a month ago. Monique's still going. She's still got about 10 pounds. Tirzepatide is said to make people lose about 2x as much weight, actually. I said 3 times, but 3 times is effective. But it's about 2x as much weight, maybe in less time. And that's where you get the 3 times as effective. So I don't know. Maybe we got a bad batch. We bought tirzepatide from an American supplier, and I was never convinced that it did much. I was never convinced that it did much more than semaglutide. And then finally, by the way, tirzepatide's being blocked, like I said, by Eli Lilly, so you do have to go to China to get tirzepatide now. You better move fast, because Big Pharma, Big Pharma. This is the holy grail. This is the holy grail of lifestyle change. This is the holy grail of a complete resolution of fat-related diseases that Big Pharma live off of. Imagine diabetes going away. Imagine hypertension going away because everybody lost weight. Yeah, because that's going to happen if the word gets out and if people fight for it. Because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. As soon as this gets out and a lot of people start doing it, Big Pharma's gonna fucking block it. They're gonna write these simple chemicals as Schedule 1 substances. And you are going to need a doctor's prescription and you're gonna need to pay these drug companies massive money to get it. So I bought a 2-year supply. I'm probably gonna buy a 10-year supply soon. And that's the other thing. I mentioned it before, but when you stop, you gain your weight back. It's a small thing to take a shot once a week. All right, that's 52 shots a year or whatever. You get very used to it. Some people have to take a shot every day when they're diabetic. But it changes everything. Being skinny, you got to try it. You got to try it. Even if your skin's going to hang once in your life, be skinny. Studies have shown that people who go through a starvation cycle, and by the way, semaglutide does not feel like a starvation cycle. It feels wonderful. Food, you still eat all the same food you ate before. And you enjoy it just as much as before, but you're satisfied way sooner, and you walk away. I think that's the way we used to enjoy food back in the day, back in the early 1900s or the 1800s. I feel like that's how people enjoyed food, sensibly. But something happened. Something happened with the diet. Chemicals, something, I don't know. I don't want to start a conspiracy theory, but something around 1975, people started to get fat. And you cannot just say it was because food was cheaper and easier to get. Food was cheap in the 50s in America. Cheap. Super cheap. Anybody could eat as much as they wanted in the 50s. And look at pictures from the 50s. See if I'm lying. Everybody skinny. What happened in 1975? A lot of people have theories. I'm not here to bandy them about. Because what happened, happened. And it's still happening today. Whatever we're eating is making us want to just stuff our face. But you take a GLP-1 blocker and suddenly you're like a normal 50s person. You're back in the 50s. I might as well be black and white right now. Because everything changes. Everything's different. And by the way, I know what some of you might be thinking. Well, Fierce Wipes, what about alcohol? Well, I know you don't drink. That must be a big advantage. My wife drinks. Yeah, I don't drink, but Monique still does. And she never stopped. She doesn't drink a ton, but she never stopped through her process. So she's lost 35 pounds. I've lost 35 pounds. She needs to go to 45 pounds to hit her target weight. She was up there. You saw the pictures. She was up there. And this turned it around. And that brings me to my final rant. This is my final rant. Because I got to rant now. Because I'm pissed. I begged and pleaded for Monique's doctor to look at what was happening to her. Monique has always been skinny. She's always been petite. One time I put a picture of her up on Reddit. It went to number 2 on r/all. Number 2 before I took it down. And At some point, when she hit her mid-50s, everything changed. She started gaining weight. She didn't change her diet. She didn't change anything she was doing. She was working out 3 times a week in Zumba, if you know what that is. Intense workout, gaining weight every week. And I wrote her doctor. You know what I did? I made sort of like a presentation to her doctor. And I wrote this long paragraph about, this is what's been happening. And I posted pictures. I had pictures in the presentation. This is this year. This is 2016. This is 2017, 18, 19, 20. And doctor gets back, says, I will refer you to the dietitian. And I'm like, fuck. The dietitian? She didn't change her diet to get here. Anything you make her do to change her diet to get out of it is going to be temporary. It's going to involve incredible self-sacrifice, starving herself. Because at times during this process of going from 120 to almost 170, she did try to starve herself several times. The needle hardly moved at all. But here's my rant. My rant is, plenty of doctors knew about this. Plenty of doctors. Do you know if you lose enough weight when you're diabetic, you can actually become undiabetic? You can make diabetes go into remission? But do people do it? Hell no. How do you think they got diabetic? They have bad habits. Now, that brings me to another thing about semaglutide. Semaglutide doesn't make everybody lose weight. Now, this is more of, Furious Wipes is not a doctor. Furious Wipes is a sucker and a bullshitter. So you take what I say with a grain of salt, but plenty of people do not lose so much weight on semaglutide. Some don't lose any at all. Is it because semaglutide only works for some people and not others? I don't think so. I don't think that's true. I think it works for everybody. But I just was here with my father-in-law. I was just here over the weekend with my father-in-law, who is diabetic and who is on Ozempic. He's only on half a milligram right now. He should be on more. In my opinion, they're ramping him up way too slow. And that's another rant. And I saw the way he lived. I know he wasn't hungry, but yet he ate anyway. I think there's a lot of people out there who eat out of habit. They eat out of comfort and habit, whether they're hungry or not. Now, a lot of them are hungry all the time. Why? Because they made their stomach so GD big that it's always mostly empty. I mean, if my stomach's as big as my 4K TV, it's going to feel empty most of the time unless I'm stuffing stuff into it. Now, the GLP-1 blockers, they make you not want to eat so much. They make you not care about food so much. And they make you satisfied a lot earlier. But I witnessed it with my own eyes. These people, they eat out of habit. They eat when they're not hungry. And that is what you cannot do if you want this to work. You have to follow your appetite. You have to follow your appetite. What do I mean by that? You have to, when you don't feel hungry, don't eat. Don't eat out of boredom. Don't eat out of habit. If you're not hungry, do something else. Distract yourself. If you're used to eating at a certain time and you ain't hungry, don't eat at that time. Go do something. Go distract yourself. That's how it works every time. If you do that, the needle's going to move for you and fast. Now, here's my warning to you. because we've been through it all. The needle doesn't move every day, but the needle moves in a very different way than you're used to. If you know how to lose weight, and you've lost weight many times, like me, weight loss is like a sine wave every day. Okay? You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, and slowly the sine wave over time goes down. I'm up a few pounds, I'm down a few pounds, I'm up a few pounds, I'm down a few pounds. That's how weight loss feels for normal people in normal ways. That's really how it is. It's not how it is on semaglutide. Not at all. Not at all. When you get on semaglutide, your weight goes down in increments, and it does not go back up. So you'll plateau for a long time. You'll plateau for weeks. Don't panic. Don't panic. You're plateauing, but you know what you're not doing? You're not going back up. Monique spent 5 weeks at 142 pounds, never going up to 143. 5 weeks. But we never changed anything. We just kept going. And after that 5th week, boom, 141. Boom, 140. A few more weeks at 140. Boom, 139. But never going back up. That's the weird thing about it. Have you ever heard of anything like that? There's something very different about it. There's something very different about it. So that's my story. This is the message I'm delivering to you. You don't have to be fat. You can be skinny. Skinny has been solved. You just were not told. And you don't need a doctor. At least right now, you don't need a doctor. So get on it and go do it and be skinny for once in your life. It's fun. It's nice. You can buy mediums. It's awesome. I look so good in clothes. My gosh. It's spectacular. Now I just need to figure out a way to buy youth, because I can't get that in a vial yet. But even that might be coming soon. So, if this video helped you, if you're going to do something about it, DM me. Go to my Discord server, 5-Minute Multiboxing, or talk to me in the chats, or DM me on YouTube and tell me about it. I'm interested. I want everybody to get some of this. And what I mean by some of this is I want everybody to get some skinny. It's good. It's good, and it's healthy. And it will solve a lot of the health problems that you're having right now. All right, suckers, Furious Wipes.